morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome. I'm Kim Serafini, the founder, creator, and CEO of Positive Prime. Woo! Hello. Most of you now know who I am. Anyway, it is an honor, privilege, and pleasure to be here. As always, this is our once a week opportunity for group coaching, group healing, group energy work, group inspirational conversations, dealing with issues, talking about opportunities, whatever it is. So most of the people who come here are brand new to Positive Prime. A few people just drop in because they've got a question that they would like answered. And today we're just going to take a nice big deep breath in. We've had a very rare and amazing opportunity, haven't we, over the last couple of days? There's been Passover and Ramadan and Easter all around the world. How glorious for all of us. I've actually had a lot of time very intensively being in family. So I had my brother and his wife and his children come up, and they were house guests. So they were from out of town, and the same with my cousin and his wife and their two children, and my parents and Cameron and his father. And anyway, it was just wonderful. I was almost device free. Can you imagine it? I was literally trying to have a technology break. Very, very difficult for me. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails come in, and I scan them quickly. And I'm so very blessed that I have Mayumi and her team to take care of most of the issues. And so for those of you who don't know, Mayumi is my Japanese assistant. She is extraordinary. She's been working with me day in and day out for years and years and years. I love her, I adore her, I cherish her, and I also really admire and respect her. She is actually extraordinary. And there are lots of other people in the team as well. Oh, Mayumi's here. Look at her, she just did a heart. You just heard what I said. I usually talk about her behind her back. Hey, Mayumi, lovely for you to be here. Alrighty, so if you've got any questions, you can write them out in the chat. What we usually do is a very quick overview of what is Positive Prime and how do you navigate it and how do you get the most out of it. Do you want me to go through those highlights? Do a big nod for me if that's a yes, or do a thumbs up if you're okay. So we'll do a very quick overview. So look how true it is that I did not watch any Positive Prime sessions over the long weekend. So there was a public holiday for us here down under in Australia. For those of you who don't know, yes, I am Australian, and yes, I am in Australia at the moment. Alrighty, so what you will find here on the dashboard, which is our main page, is that we always feature a couple of sessions, usually some new sessions, and every now and again we bring into the limelight something for you to really focus on. So this is a beautiful new session by one of our contributing authors. So let me just explain to you about Positive Prime's contributing authors. Elaine Sugar, like Laura Davis, and like Nani Shazia, I will tell you they are three of a couple of hundred people that we work with. The qualities of one of our contributing authors is that they actually have to be experts in their field, thought leaders, wonderful people who walk their talk. They have to be true in their souls and in their spirits to their messages and to the essence of their messages. They have to really understand the power, the potency of the neuroscience aspects of Positive Prime, our actual formula. And so each and every session has about 800 images or photographs, and they bring to life the main messages or the essences of the messages. But those 800 photographs actually adhere to, like the selection of them, a very precise formula. And that formula is all about using clinically evaluated techniques to bring about positive, enduring change, change that is meaningful and significant, change that lasts, change that is uplifting. And we, inside the Positive Prime community, we talk about Positive Prime makes us brighter. The science actually says it makes us intellectually brighter. Yes, I mean like brighter, more clever, more astute, smarter. It also makes us brighter in our disposition. And it also helps us to bring about a brighter future. So positive prime is really about being brighter. Okay, so let me quickly click on one. What actually happens is you see a little bit of an explanation. And then what I'm going to suggest to you all is that you personalize each and every single session with a couple of your own photographs. Now, your own photographs you upload, they're kept safe and secure inside the Positive Prime account that you have. And you upload photographs. I would argue with you to upload at least 1 or 2 fresh photographs every single week. Okay, so that's constantly sending messages to God or to your angels or to the universe. It's planting seeds in the quantum field about what it is that you would like more of. So upload a photograph that is a representation of what you're truly grateful for, what you're appreciative of. So I'm just going to click upload here. Do you know there was actually a couple of photographs that I took over the Easter long weekend for me. I'm just accessing my computer at the moment, so you might not be able to see that. I had the most fabulous time at the beach, and it was really fun also with a group of us. Here, let me just upload this. This is, I think, a photograph of my brother, my cousin, and my spouse, Cameron. And I loved the opportunity for us to all go out. We went to a very nice, new, swanky, New York-inspired bar in our local resort town, and we all had a cocktail. And my brother hardly ever drinks alcohol, and hardly ever in his entire life drinks fancy cocktails. Anyway, so can you see this is dark? It's in a very moody place. So I could now select this, or I could select all the images that are on this page. So here's a photograph of my beautiful cat. Well, it's actually not my cat, it's Cameron's cat. Let's get specific here. This is a bracelet, a gorgeous feng shui bracelet that I was gifted by a friend of mine. And so when I see this and it's flashing in the Positive Prime session, so let me just select all. There are a couple of things that are happening. You ready? The faster the speed you go here in terms of going faster and slower, the more you access the parts of super consciousness, which is the parts of you that, you know how you don't have to tell your heart to beat because that's happening in the autonomic nervous system. The parts of you that create coincidences, that's really you sending messages out into the ether, out into the world, out into the energy field. And coincidence is actually bringing about some of these reactions and these responses. And so when you plant your own photographs, see, there's my cat, right? Did you notice that that was one of the photographs we just saw? What's happening is you're saying to God, I'm so grateful for being given a gift like this bracelet, and I really appreciate the gifts that I'm given, and it brings about this energy that means you'll actually receive more gifts, more of those kinds of gifts from friends. So whenever you're given a gift, take a photograph of it and upload it into your Positive Prime collection, and make sure you personalize your sessions with it. You will receive more gifts more regularly from more people. That's the way it works, right? What else could you upload? So every single one of your Positive Prime sessions that is a standard 1000 frames. So let's just say every single one of these is a frame. It's a slide, right? 800 of them are images, and those images are really very carefully selected. We curate the collection of images. And then there are 200 statements, like I love to learn. Let me help you, if you don't already know, about how self-fulfilling prophecies work and these statements work, these positive mantras and affirmations or affirmations. We just saw I love to learn. Did you all see that? You all saw that? Do a big nod for me. Is that yes, you all saw that? Okay. So what actually happens is our brain is marvelous, and it loves for us to prove ourselves right. Did you know that? We have an insatiable appetite to be right about everything. Now, that's because it's part of our survival instinct. So the reptilian part of our brain, the most ancient part of our brain, the most core aspect to ourselves is that we want to survive as a species. And so if there is something brand new to us or something unfamiliar to us, or there's a goal that we have not yet achieved, it's actually in the same category as, I want you to imagine you were out there on the fields and maybe a lion was coming towards you, or a dinosaur, right? You didn't know if it was going to kill you if you'd never seen it before. But the way that our survival instinct works is that we had to assume that it would kill us. And so we reject and we resist anything that is unfamiliar. And so you might have a goal to make $1 million or $10 million or $100 million. But if you've never done that before, everything that comes into your awareness that will help you to achieve $100 million out of a business idea maybe that you're involved in, you will reject and you will resist because it's unfamiliar to you. Because every single thing that you want or desire that you have never had before, the reptilian part of you, the ancient part of you, this core part of you, it actually wants to keep you safe. So it has to assess something and assume that it's going to harm you. And so it keeps it out there, which means it's very hard to achieve goals or changes if they're unfamiliar or if there's uncertainty. But what happens is that the brain goes in search of evidence to prove to you that you're right about this assumption that you've made. You're following with me? Tell me if this is actually useful. Put a thumbs up for me, right? Is this actually useful? Do you care about this stuff? This is going to help you get what it is that you want in life. I promise you, right? Okay, so I love that feedback. Thank you. So I love to learn. And my brain processes it because my brain takes in 11 million bits of information per second, and it actually has about 50,000 thoughts a day. So my brain actually does take it in no matter how fast it's going. And if I love to learn, my brain is going in search of evidence that I love to learn. And guess what my brain will do? My brain will find the rationale. My brain will find the signs and symbols that proves to me I'm right about that statement. And therefore it becomes so. And so you become the person who loves to learn, even if you weren't. It's miraculous, isn't it? It's like genius. But, excuse me, the great thing about Positive Prime is Elaine Sugar, gorgeous human being. And she's very successful and she's connected to lots of people, and she has this knowledge and wisdom and these suggestions and recommendations and these knowings. And she's sharing them by these statements. Helping others has intrinsic rewards. Did you all just see that? Helping others has intrinsic rewards. Well, if you're a little bit like me, I didn't naturally have that self-talk yesterday. I didn't actually say in my own brain, helping others has intrinsic rewards. It's not something that I say to myself, right? But when I watch a Positive Prime session, that brilliance that comes from that contributor now actually is in my sphere. And I think the thoughts of these people that helps me to actually break through in lots of different kinds of ways, in lots of different manners, because I'm inspired and uplifted by what is being shared in these 200 statements that I'm seeing from the contributors of a Positive Prime session. Isn't that wonderful? Therefore, I would encourage you to watch as many Positive Prime sessions as you possibly can. And what you might want to do is you might want to watch them all on speed 2, which will take another 20 minutes for me to get through, or you might vary it. And varying it is actually a very good idea. So you will watch maybe 3 in a row on speed 8. someone actually talked to us last week about super mixers. And so Mayumi, if in the chat you've got a little video link to the conversation that we had about super mixers, then I'd love you to share that. Or indeed share the Facebook group where we often have these other little supportive videos there. Alrighty, so without further ado, let me just give you a little bit of an overview about, we have all these different categories down the left-hand side. We have lots of sessions in each category. I literally just pressed stop. So now if I go back to dashboard, it's actually literally going to knock me out of this. Now I could go and say, oh, I'd like to watch any one of these and be guided. So I could close my eyes and spin around and go, okay, I'm going to watch this one. I think God or my angels or the universe just chose this one for me because my eyes were closed and I was just whizzing my mouse around. So maybe this is the session I watched today. And I often do this. I will literally just come in and I will choose a particular session just simply because my mouse landed on it. But what if I really want to focus on something in particular? I may have had a little disagreement or a nasty fight or whatever with my spouse. And maybe in order for me to drop back into being loving towards myself and him, I might want to go and watch Romance and Intimacy, and it will recalibrate me. Now, if I was in a little bit more trouble, I might watch Saving My Marriage and Transforming My Relationship. Melody is actually a beautiful life coach, really great life coach. So I could actually go and watch her session. And it might just literally give me a little bit of an attitude adjustment, which may be necessary. In some cases, it is actually necessary. And so what I'm saying to you is there's lots of different choices for you here, over 100 choices in sessions. For those of you who don't know, you can actually share your Positive Prime account if you're a paying subscriber with others. So you can go and click on invites and you go and actually invite some people to join you. And over here in these three little dots, you click and you can send the invite to them and they can actually accept it. And if they don't accept it, you can actually retract the invite. You can say to them, hey, I really want to share Positive Prime with you. I'm a paying subscriber. It means that you don't have to pay. You get everything that I get. And that means that you can watch all these sessions and you can personalize them and so forth. What I would say to you is no matter what, take advantage of the coaching pearls. Now, if you've never actually activated your coaching pearls, maybe you don't even know that they're there, you need to go and get it started. So you click start, and every single day you receive a new coaching pearl to watch. It's a 3 to 5 minute video, fantastic pearls of wisdom by amazing coaches, right? So this particular short video is about reaching out to people. And Christine Talley is one of our great Positive Prime professional leaders. We have our own certification program inside Positive Prime for coaches and thought leaders, speakers and authors, therapists and trainers, healers, all sorts of people actually come and do our certification program. And they then end up with their own Positive Prime sessions that they either share with their teams or with their clients, or if they're a really high profile influencer, then they have their session here available to the rest of the general public. So Christine's one of these people. Amazing, amazing, amazing woman. Amazing. So there are all of these little quick was one of the perfect videos. So I would definitely go and take advantage of all of these coaching pearls. Be inspired by at least one a day. If you haven't watched any for the week, maybe you can watch 7 on a Saturday or a Sunday, right? What else do you want to know? Anybody want to know anything else? Did you know that you have an affiliate link and you can earn commissions from sharing Positive Prime as well? So if somebody who you refer clicks on your link and then comes to this particular page, upgrade account, they actually get billed $199 and you receive 50%. Did you know that? You receive 50% commission when you share your affiliate link down in this earn money area. It's not like an MLM. It's not like a network marketing compensation model. It's a pure relationship affiliate marketing model, and it's only 3 levels, 50% on the first level, 10% on the second level, and 5% on the third level. So we here at Positive Prime have a lot of people, hundreds, thousands of people out there sharing Positive Prime, and they're earning 50%, or in some cases, lots of 10% and lots of 5%, depending upon the numbers of influencers and team leaders they're talking to. All great, all great. Anything anybody else wants to know? Talk to me. What are you dealing with? Tell me, and I'll say, hey, I think you should watch this session, or hey, I think you should watch that session. Who's going to be brave? You've got me, you may as well use me. Is there any comment you want to make? Are you loving Positive Prime? Yes. Edwina, you want to say something?
Yes, comment. I'm not sure how long I've been doing Positive Prime, but I have to say that when I first heard it, it was like, okay, I was thinking it was going to be something really kind of out there that wasn't, I didn't want to be out there, wherever there was, I didn't want to be out there. But it really has turned out to be such a wonderful, positive thing that happens. What's interesting is I did the nutritional something, nurturing, yeah, that one. And I personalized, and of course I put other people's pictures before and afters and all of that. And what I'm finding is that I'm eating better. I'm a registered nurse, but I'm making better choices. And it's like, I don't know I'm making the choice until, oh, I'm in the choice and I'm making the right choice on food. So it's almost like I'm being led to do the right thing. You know, I'm taking myself out of it. It's just literally happening. And I'm really seeing a huge difference in me. And I notice when I don't listen to something, my day is just not quite the same. And I'll find myself having to go in and listen for 3 minutes and sit there and breathe. And I still will come back and say, I don't understand that when I played Happy the first time, I never got pictures. I never got them. Never got pictures. And I played it three times, never got a picture. I played it this morning and I got the pictures, but I told you I was happy just because of the music. I was just dancing and having a blast. And so it's something that I don't think I expected to happen. It's just happening. I'm not having to go do something to make something, to make these changes occur in my life. So I just want to thank you so much for listening to God do this, because there are a lot of people. I'm right now sending this to my grandson, he's one of my freebies, and my daughter. They're going through a lot of things, but they want to write a book. And guess what? Write a book was in the search bar that you told us about. And so I did that. And so these sessions, I'm coming to really learn something. I learn something new every week. So I love coming, and thank you. I wanted to personally thank you for just taking the time to do this. I know this took a lot of energy. The whole thing took you from your family, but I just want to say a personal thank you for the millions of people that you're helping. So thank you so much.
Oh, Edwina, you have just made my day, week, month, and year. Thank you. What you said was so heartwarming as well, and maybe so useful to somebody else. Would you mind if Mayumi and I edited that little bit and shared it? No, nope. You're happy?
Go right ahead. If it blesses somebody else, do it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. You know, I talk about how amazing it is. I can actually try to really talk people through the scientific research that's been done objectively that proves it actually does change your biochemistry within 3 minutes, and that the effects last for 6 to 8 hours, which is remarkable from a scientific point of view, right? There are lots of interventions that actually only last about 4 hours. And so in the field of scientific research, if you see that something still has an effect, there's an impact 6 to 8 hours later, it's actually called a long-term impact in scientific research circles. And so I'm very, as you know, I am very aware that God was able to actually choose me as someone tenacious enough, someone stubborn enough to give an idea, and I would persist for long enough to create this international platform. So thank you for that, Edwina. There have been times over the last months, years, it's actually more than a decade I've been on this journey now, where I've wanted to give up. And guess what I do? I watch a Positive Prime session and it fortifies me. Right. And then I think, Edwina, there's you, and do you know what? There are your family members, and then there are your friends, and then there are their friends, and then there are their clients, and then there are their patients and their students. And that we've grown organically like that over the last couple of years. And, you know, now, of course, we serve tens of thousands of subscribers, and it's a real joy. There's a real responsibility to that. We're very, very conscious and conscientious about our formula. So Mayumi actually has a whole team, and we hand make these sessions. We actually physically choose a certain number of photographs that represent lots of different relationships, lots of different types of religions, lots of different lifestyles, lots of different parts of the world. Diversity and inclusion issues are front of mind for our entire staff. We make sure that there's a representation. We also make sure that there's a great variety of content, so that we're actually serving an enormous number of people with different needs simultaneously. And I'm pretty strict about what's not negotiable. So it must be scientifically valid. It must actually work. And you're right. All you have to do is press play, and it does do it to you. So for those of you who don't know, there's a certain number of what we call Duchenne smiles. Does everybody here know that these are a scientific category of a type of smile? If I show you the photograph, and, you know, in pre-conscious processing, so in fractions of milliseconds before you're even aware, your body knows whether that's a smile that is welcoming, warm, generous, sincere, real, and honest. They're called Duchenne smiles. And your body's chemistry changes, because what actually happens is the retina in your eyes sees this type of smile, sends messages to your mirror neurons, which is a part of your brain, and your brain thinks you are smiling with this message that is processed. No joke, your brain literally thinks you are smiling. And so then these messages from your brain go down through your endocrine system, and hormonally you start to produce more neurotransmitters and endorphins, serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin. You may have heard of some of these things. Well, all that happened was that you saw a smile that was warm and inviting and genuine and sincere and wholehearted, right? And because your eyes saw that smile, this cascade, this reaction started to happen. Here's the beautiful thing about Positive Prime. There's a certain number of Duchenne smiles in every single Positive Prime session. And the reason why is because you need a certain ratio of these smiles in your day for you to actually have enough of this chemical cocktail in your body, the serotonin, the dopamine, and the oxytocin, other endorphins. But you actually need to generate that beautiful chemical cocktail. And do you know what? It's like it's bathing you in universal divine love. And so every cell in your body is getting to do a little happy dance, swimming in this gorgeous energy. Well, most human beings on this planet today don't see enough Duchenne smiles. Most of us are not living in villages, in tribes where we're all laughing and playful and joyful and cheerful and happy, and, you know, we're beyond subsistence living. And most of us are not now still living in these villages high up on these hills in Italy where everybody's laughing and they're jovial and there's lots of, you know, humor and mirth. That's just not the world that we live in anymore, right? And so we must have an actual intervention in front of our eyes. We must see a certain number of the Duchenne smiles every single day. Well, the only way I know how to make that happen for myself is to press play on Positive Prime sessions. And then the Positive Prime session that I'm viewing ensures that my body's chemistry has the reaction. Woo! It's a big thing. And so every single Positive Prime session has one of these aspects, the numbers of Duchenne smiles, every single one of them for your benefit. And all you do is press play. And it's healthier for you. It's remarkable. Now, I came across that research. We started doing some experimenting, and then I implemented what we found to be clinically effective into the formula. And I did that with about 17 other aspects. There's something about tree canopy. There's something about the way that what happens with your brain and the way that it processes helping behaviors. So if you see someone being generous, you'll be more motivated to be generous. And so when you watch Positive Prime session, maybe you'll notice how many photographs of helping there is, because we're generating generous behavior by all the Positive Primers who are viewing these sessions. Other parts of the formula, there are certain images that you see of people doing the victory symbol. Have you seen that? Right. Well, part of that is because whenever you see that, do you know, interestingly enough, your brain processes it and thinks that you're doing it, and you might find that you're doing it a little bit more. And then what's happening is you're actually increasing testosterone production in your own body. And that is actually a hormone that all of us need for calm confidence. Right? Yes, the victory symbol. Have you seen Amy Cuddy's TEDx talk on this particular subject? Anyway, so I could go on and on and on about all of the other aspects that are in the formula that makes up the Positive Prime sessions, 800 images. Now, in terms of the statements that you might want to write for yourself, make sure they're in the positive. So what I would say to you is, don't write, I want to lose weight, or I want to lose 5 kilos, because your brain will see 5 kilos or 5 pounds or whatever it is. And what will happen is that subtly, without you even knowing, you'll probably gain that, because our body's actually, the way that we process this kind of information is we add, we very rarely subtract. The greatest example I ever came across was in terms of people come into their house and they put their car keys down, and, you know, they go, I must remember where I put my car keys. No, do you know what? We don't actually do that. We say to each other, oh, don't let me forget where I put my, and so what does the brain hear? Forget. What does the brain do? The brain does whatever instructions you give it, right? So if you give yourself a couple of instructions every day, and you might want to think about this and write it down in your journal. You might want to set yourself up and say, I want to see opportunities today. I want to see the goodness in others today. And you might say, I must remember to express my appreciation, and you're more likely to do so. All right. I must remember to notice the thousands of ways that I am actually making progress. And what will happen is you'll focus on making progress. You'll focus on the progress you have made, and you will actually literally be organically, naturally aligned with making more progress. So I hope that helps. I'm here each week. I hope to see you again. I'll look forward to it. And if there's any question, come next week with your questions. And if there's any sessions you want to say, hey, because do you want to hear the funny story about the nutritional nurturing one? There's also another one, Edwina, called Wonderful Wellness. And there's also another one. You'll love this, actually. Let me just go back to screen sharing here where I was before. And let me go in and put in Angela. All right, so this particular woman, Angela Humberg, really fascinating lady. She has a very interesting approach. I think that you would really like her. And she's well qualified. She's actually a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and she's a certified intuitive eating counselor. She's a lovely lady, really lovely lady. Well, there are lots of these types of sessions inside Positive Prime. Do you know one of them has a background to the phrases that is walnuts? And I really didn't like walnuts. Like, actually, ugh, they're foul. I hate them. Ugh, 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 ugh. Anyway, I've been like that since I was a child. How annoying. But anyway, do you know, after I'd been watching a couple of these sessions, I literally one day found myself with a handful of walnuts, raw walnuts, and I was eating them. You know what I'd done? I had purchased a bag of walnuts from the health food area in the supermarket. I was not even consciously aware of it. I had literally had them popped into a bag. They're now in my home. I've unpacked them. I'm not even really consciously aware of it. I have opened the bag and I'm eating walnuts. And I'm thinking to myself, why on earth did I buy walnuts? And these aren't actually too bad. Oh, I wonder why I've been so funny about eating walnuts all my life. Oh, they're actually quite good. And you know, I'd seen a webinar about how walnuts are shaped like the brain and they're awesome brain food. Have you seen that research about walnuts? Walnuts have these special minerals and vitamins and nutrients in them that it's really good brain food, right? So anyway, I would suggest you also get organic walnuts. But anyway, well, the next day I was watching the session and I actually then had my reticular activating system kind of peaked, as in PIQ, right? Peak. And anyway, I saw the background, this template that the words are on in a Positive Prime session, and they're walnuts. And I was like, oh, see, I understand the science. I understand how powerful Positive Prime is, right? And here I am having it show up in my own life and still shocking me. Right? So maybe you'll take a little bit of extra notice. All of the words in Positive Prime, all 200 statements, they appear on these templates, these backgrounds, and there's 8 different backgrounds per Positive Prime session. Anyway, so Edwina, yes. I loved hearing your story and I'm not surprised by it. In fact, I've come to hear lots of those kinds of stories over the last couple of years. People go, oh, I used to hate cucumber and now I find myself eating cucumber. And I go, yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, can I thank Naomi because she is always so prompt. I have no idea what time it is. When I send her a message on email, guys, she will get back with you. She will get back with you.
Yeah, she will.
And that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
It is wonderful.
Thank you.
We now have an increasing number of people who are supporting me because we have an increasing number of people who reach out to me. All right. Well, we love you very much. We very much appreciate you. And look, Mimi says, thank you, Edwina. Hey, she wrote in the chat. Beautiful. All right. Take care, everybody. Give yourself some extra love, some extra tenderness, and some extra care, and know that you are truly a magnificent human being. You are loved, loving, and lovable. That's actually been some of my big work. I call it the big work. I had to say I am loving, loved, and lovable about 1 billion times before I started to believe it and I started to live into it and it started to work and resonate in my own life. I did that before I attracted Cameron into my life. And I think that I had to really and truly fall in love with myself before I actually had the opportunity to create a great love in this lifetime. And every single time I'm getting a little bit, somehow I've forgotten that I am loved and I am lovable and I am loving. So for whatever it's worth, maybe you want to dance around the house today and say, I am loved and loving and lovable. I am loved and loving and lovable. I am loved and loving and lovable. I'm loved and loving and lovable. Oh, yes, you are indeed. All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Much love. Ciao. Thanks, Mary Lee. Ciao. Thanks, Patricia, for joining us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks, Fiona, for joining us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye.